What if being called dangerous is actually the ultimate compliment? Imagine for a moment that this label, so often thrown at women who speak up or stand firm, isn't an insult. What if it's a sign that you are approaching the final stage of your own psychological evolution? For decades, we've been taught to be agreeable, to be accommodating, to shrink ourselves, to fit into spaces that were not built for us. But a profound shift is happening, one that the world often misinterprets. Society often labels women as dangerous precisely when they are on the verge of discovering their greatest personal power. This isn't about being reckless or destructive. It's about becoming so authentically and unapologetically yourself that you become a force of nature. The world calls it dangerous. Psychology calls it whole. In this video, we are going to pull back the curtain on this exact phenomenon, using the work of one of history's greatest psychological minds, Carl Jung. We'll explore what this final stage truly is and what it means to arrive there. More importantly, I'm going to give you the 4 unmistakable signs that you are currently on this path. These are the markers that prove you're not becoming difficult. You are becoming complete. Have you ever felt it? That subtle shift in the room when you set a boundary that you used to let slide. Have you ever been punished overtly or covertly for speaking a truth that everyone else was thinking but was too afraid to say? Or have you simply felt that by choosing not to shrink anymore, you've somehow become a problem for others to solve? If any of this resonates, you are in exactly the right place. This experience isn't random, and it's not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a well-documented part of a psychological journey that Carl Jung called individuation. Individuation is the lifelong process of becoming your true, whole, and individual self. It's about differentiating yourself from the collective consciousness and discovering who you are beneath the roles and expectations placed upon you. To fully understand this, our journey today will be broken into 3 parts. First, we'll explore exactly why society fears authentic female power and labels it dangerous. Second, we will walk the Jungian path to achieving it, demystifying 2 crucial concepts he called the Shadow and the Animus. And finally, as promised, we will detail the 4 undeniable signs that you have arrived at this powerful final stage. By the end of this video, you won't just understand the label. You will have a framework to embrace it as a symbol of your own hard-won integration. So, to truly understand what makes this woman dangerous, we first need to look at the system she's disrupting. The core thesis is this: a woman who is whole and self-defined is dangerous only to systems that rely on her compliance. She isn't a threat to people. She is a threat to insecure structures. There are 3 primary reasons for this. First, and most obviously, she cannot be easily controlled or manipulated. A woman who sources her validation from within is immune to the levers of praise and shame that society so often uses to keep people in line. You can't threaten her with disapproval if she doesn't need your approval to feel worthy. This independence short-circuits power dynamics in families, workplaces, and social groups. Second, her wholeness exposes the inauthenticity in others, which makes them deeply uncomfortable. Someone living their truth is a mirror. When people who are living behind masks see her, they are forced to confront their own compromises and self-betrayals. It is often easier to label the mirror dangerous or arrogant than to look at the reflection it shows. And third, she challenges long-standing patriarchal norms and expectations of what a woman should be. She can be nurturing without being a martyr, assertive without being aggressive, and wise without being silent. This complexity threatens a world that prefers its categories neat and its women predictable. Consider a woman we'll call Sarah, who works in a busy corporate office. For years, she was the go-to person for everything, the ultimate people pleaser. She stayed late, took on extra projects, and smoothed over every conflict. Then, after a period of burnout and self-reflection, she started to change. She began leaving at 5, politely declined projects that weren't her responsibility, and stated her opinions clearly in meetings. She didn't become rude or unkind, she simply became boundaried. Suddenly, whispers started. She was called not a team player, difficult and intimidating. Sarah hadn't changed her character, she had integrated her power. And in doing so, she became dangerous to the office ecosystem that ran on her quiet compliance. Does this sound familiar? This external friction is a sign of internal growth. So how does one actually cultivate this level of authenticity? This is where we turn to Jung's incredible map of the psyche. He believed that to become whole, we must undertake a kind of psychological alchemy, integrating hidden parts of ourselves. The first and most important ingredient in this process is what he called the shadow. The shadow isn't what's evil in you, it's what's buried in you. It is the sum of all the parts of yourself that you have disowned or repressed, usually because you were taught they were unacceptable. For many women, this includes qualities like anger, ambition, selfishness, and raw power. We push these traits into the basement of our minds and pretend they don't exist. But Jung argued that this is a colossal waste of energy. He said that within the shadow lies our gold. Integrating the shadow means consciously acknowledging these buried parts, understanding their purpose, and harnessing their energy constructively. Your buried anger, for example, might be the source of your most powerful boundaries. Your hidden ambition might be the fuel for your life's greatest work. The second key ingredient is the animus. In Jungian psychology, the animus is the unconscious masculine side of a woman's psyche. This has nothing to do with gender identity, but rather with archetypal energies. The animus represents qualities like logic, reason, assertiveness, and directed action. When a woman has an unconscious, undeveloped animus, it can manifest negatively. It can appear as a harsh inner critic, rigid opinions, or a tendency to argue for the sake of arguing. However, integrating the animus is like building an inner bridge. It connects your deep, intuitive feminine knowing with the capacity for clear, logical expression and decisive action in the world. It's the part of you that can take your brilliant idea and turn it into a business plan. It's the voice that allows you to say no cleanly and without a 20-minute explanation. Finally, all of this work serves the grand process of individuation. Individuation isn't a destination you arrive at, but a continuous journey of becoming more and more yourself. It is the path of reclaiming the buried gold from your shadow and building the inner bridge of your animus. It is the slow, steady, and sometimes difficult work of assembling the disparate pieces of your psyche into a cohesive whole. So now that we have the raw ingredients, the shadow and the animus, how do they combine to create this final stage? This is where the magic happens and where the dangerous woman is truly born. The final stage, as we're calling it, is reached when the relationship with these inner parts fundamentally shifts.
It's a state of deep psychological integration.
The shadow is no longer projected onto others, but owned as a source of power. You stop seeing villains everywhere and start recognizing the disowned parts of yourself. Simultaneously, the animus is no longer an internal saboteur, but becomes a conscious ally.
The harsh inner critic transforms into a discerning inner counsel.
When these two integrations happen, a woman begins to operate from a center of unshakable inner authority. She is no longer pulled in different directions by unconscious forces. She contains multitudes and is at peace with her own complexity. She becomes a paradox to the outside world, yet perfectly coherent to herself. She is both receptive and assertive. She can listen with deep empathy, and she can also deliver a hard truth with clean compassion. She is both intuitive and logical. She trusts her gut feelings, but she can also build a rational case for her choices. She is both compassionate and fiercely boundaried. Her heart can be open to the world, but her energy is not up for grabs. And this brings us to the consequence. This wholeness is the precise source of her danger. Why? Because she is now fundamentally unpredictable to the outside world, guided only by her own inner compass. She doesn't react based on what will please others or avoid conflict. She responds based on what is true for her. Imagine a relationship where in the past she would have gotten angry and defensive during a conflict. This is reactive, seeking validation or control through emotion. The integrated woman, however, might become very still. She might listen fully and then calmly state, "I hear you, and I am not willing to continue this conversation while I'm being yelled at. Let's talk when we can both be respectful." To the person expecting a fight, this calm self-possession is disarming and deeply unsettling. It is dangerous because it can't be manipulated. So, how do you know if you are on this path? Now we arrive at the heart of our exploration, the 4 unmistakable signs that you are becoming dangerous. Sign number 1, your need for external validation evaporates. This is perhaps the most profound shift. You stop looking outside of yourself for confirmation that you are good, worthy, or on the right path. Compliments are nice, but they don't inflate you. Criticism is considered, but it doesn't deflate you. You become your own primary source of approval. You might notice you post something online and don't feel compelled to check the likes. Or you make a decision and don't need to poll 10 friends to feel good about it. Your inner sense of rightness becomes your North Star. Your boundaries become quietly non-negotiable. Quietly. Your boundaries are no longer loud, angry arguments or dramatic pronouncements. They are not up for debate. They have become simple facts about who you are and how you operate, like the fact that you have brown hair or are a certain height. You simply state what you need or what you will not accept, and you do so with a calm energy. The power isn't in the volume of your voice, it's in the conviction behind it. The old you asked for permission. The new you is your own permission. You are not afraid of your own shadow. This means you can admit your flaws, mistakes, and darker thoughts without crippling shame. You stop pretending to be perfect. Yes, I was jealous, or I admit a part of me is enjoying this person's failure without believing it makes you a terrible person. You understand that having a shadow doesn't make you dark, it makes you whole. This self-honesty is profoundly powerful because it makes you immune to blackmail or accusation. How can someone expose a flaw that you have already looked at, accepted, and integrated? Sign number 4. You say no without guilt, and yes with your whole heart. Your energy becomes aligned with your actions. You stop saying yes when your body and soul are screaming no. The guilt that used to accompany a no is replaced by a sense of integrity. Conversely, when you say yes to something, you are all in. Your life stops being a series of obligations and starts becoming a collection of conscious choices. This alignment is magnetic, and it is the foundation of a life built on your own terms. Recognizing these signs in yourself isn't the end of the journey, it's the beginning of a new one. Now, this understanding is powerful, but true power comes from practice. Embracing your danger is about learning to wield your newfound authenticity with wisdom and grace. So here are 3 practical ways to continue cultivating this integrated strength. First, practice shadow journaling. Once a week, sit down and ask yourself, what part of me am I afraid to look at today? What irritation or judgment towards someone else might be showing me a disowned part of myself? Write without censorship and see what emerges from the depths. Second, learn to identify your animus. Throughout your day, notice the voice of your inner critic. When it's being harsh and unproductive, label that as your negative animus. Then, consciously ask, what would a logically assertive, supportive inner counsel say right now? This practice helps you turn that inner saboteur into an ally. Third, start with one small, non-negotiable boundary this week. It doesn't have to be a big confrontation. Maybe it's not answering work emails after 7 p.m. or telling a friend you don't have the energy for a call tonight. I apologize. And remember this. It's okay if your boundaries disappoint other people. They're meant to protect you, not please them. If you're finding yourself on this journey of piecing yourself together, know that it's one of the most worthwhile adventures a person can take. It can be incredibly helpful to have a community of fellow travelers. If these ideas resonate, consider subscribing to join our exploration into the psychology of a life well lived. As we come to a close, let's bring the threads of this journey together. We've seen how societal misunderstanding can label a woman's evolution as dangerous. We've walked the Jungian path of self-realization through the integration of the shadow and the animus. And we've identified the clear signs that this profound inner work is bearing fruit. So the dangerous woman isn't a villain. She is not a problem to be solved. She is a woman who has completed a sacred alchemical journey to become whole. She has faced her own darkness and found her strength there. She has balanced her intuition with her reason. She has learned that her worth is innate, not earned. What could you accomplish if you were no longer afraid of your own power? This journey is about answering that question, not with words, but with the way you live your life. It is a quiet revolution, one that happens inside first, then radiates outward. The world may call you dangerous. Jung would have called you complete. And maybe it's time you called yourself free. If this deep dive into the psychology of a life well lived has resonated with the journey you're on, please consider subscribing. We post new videos every week designed to give you the tools and validation for your personal growth. Your engagement helps this community of deep thinkers grow. And if you're ready to explore the other side of this psychological coin, click here to watch our video on the Jungian lost man archetype. Thank you for watching and for having the courage to become who you truly are.